We want to get up close and personal on Peters on the Block. Today's guest is a graphic novelist who is receiving immense love from readers all across the globe. Her masterpiece Grass or Pull has been translating into a whopping 47 languages worldwide, and she even bagged America's Harvey Award, which is widely known as the Oscars of the graphic novel world. On top of that, this year she became the very first Korean graphic novelist and artist to be awarded France's prestigious cultural honour, the Chevalier Order of Arts and Letters. Joining us today is Keum-suk Gendry Kim, an artist who has spent her career capturing Korean history and the lives of its people through her illustrations. Let's hear directly from the author herself. Welcome to the show.
Hi, my name's Keum-suk Gendry Kim. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So you guys know we've had our book segment for years with Paul, who's always been so desperate to show us the graphic novels from our guest today, Keum-suk Gendry Kim, and we have her in the studio very early in the morning, and she lives very far away as well in Gangwon-do Island. It's quite a trek from here, so thank you so much. You actually came to Seoul last night.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for making that extra effort as well. And so our author today can speak French, can speak English, but we're going to do the interview as we usually do with, how should I address you? Is it Keum-suk or Gendry Kim? What's the most comfortable way?
Keum-suk.
Keum-suk. Okay, Keum-suk. So yes, Keum-suk is going to speak mainly in Korean and I will translate and we'll do the questions in English if that is okay. So not long ago, we did this news on our show Daily K. You became the very first Korean graphic novelist, comic artist to receive France's prestigious cultural honour, the Chevalier. Is that the right pronunciation? My French is terrible.
Chevalier, yes.
Chevalier,
Yeah.
okay. And this award is really meaningful because it really serves as recognition that Korean graphic novels, comics have reached the very highest standard of global literary art. How did you feel when you heard about that?
먼저 여기 인터뷰를 오게 초대해 주셔서 너무 감사한데요.
아니에요.
사실은 제가 어떨결에 대답을 해버려가지고 약속을 한 상태여서.
아, 진짜요?
네, 제가 이제 강화도에서 사실은 잘 움직이지 않는데.
아, 진짜?
예.
너무 감사해요.
제가
죄송해요. 저희가 약간 속였나요?
근데 덕분에 서울 구경도 하고 너무 감사합니다.
감사합니다.
오드 슈발리에는 제가 상상도 못했습니다.
네.
정말 상상을 못했는데 이런 슈발리에를 주셔가지고 너무 감사하고요.
네.
일단은 제가 하고 있는 그 작업이 굉장히 좀 동떨어 좀 이제 대중적이지 않은 작업이긴 한데 이게 정말 제가 가는 길을 응원해 준다라는 그런 느낌을 받았어요. 그래서 너무 영광이고 앞으로 제가 하고자 하는 그 길을 성실히 가야겠다. 꾸준히 또 그런 응원을 받았습니다.
네. So
감사합니다.
Keum-suk saying that first of all she is grateful to be on the show, but she did accept the invitation a little bit. What's the best way to translate 얼떨결? So almost without realizing, because usually I've heard from our senior writer that a lot of the interviews take place where she lives over in Gangwon-do. But thanks to us, she's managed to come and have a look at Seoul as well. So very nice of Keum-suk to say that. And with the Order of Chevalier, didn't think or imagine that she would receive that for 1 second. So I was very thankful for that as well. And her works, her graphic novels, we've got them here in the studio and we'll show you some close-ups. They are not necessarily for the mainstream. So it felt like a real support to get this honour, and an honour, of course, for Keum-suk. And it makes her think that in the future she's going to continue to work hard for years to come. Fingers crossed we can see many more graphic novels as well. So roughly how many books have you published throughout your career so far?
제가 직접 세보지는 않아서
네.
잘 모르겠는데 한 20여 권 정도 되는 것 같아요.
Wow, not counted exactly, but about 20 odd. That is a lot of books, because I did ask how long it takes earlier, maybe like 1 or 2 years each. That's really impressive. So we're really curious as well. So how long have you been drawing these graphic novels or comics, and what inspired you to become one, a graphic novelist?
제가 한국에서는 회화를 전공했고 그림을
아, 네.
프랑스에서는 아트를 전공했습니다. 스트라스부르크
어,
예술학교에서.
네.
그런데 그 조각 작품을 하다가 파리에서 이제 파리로 이사를 왔는데 조각을 하려면은 조형 작업을 하려면 작업실도 있어야 되고
음.
마테리얼도 있어야 되는데 그것이 너무 어려운 거예요. 그런
아,
것들을 이제 생활비를 벌어가면서 그런데 만화 같은 경우는 연필하고 종이만 있으면 되잖아요.
네.
그래서 장소도 따로 필요 없고 어디서든
어.
작업할 수 있고 그렇게 해서 만화를 그리게 되었습니다.
Wow, that's a really interesting story and an interesting fact as well. So, studied drawing here in Korea, went over to France, studied at Strasbourg University art, and sculptures was the main thing for Kumsuk. And moving to Paris, realizing that you need a studio and you need the materials, right? So there is a limit to where you can do that, and it can be quite difficult to secure those things. So with comics, as we call manhwa in Korean, all you need is a pencil and a piece of paper, and you can do it anywhere. So that does sound like something that's really convenient to get into as well. International media often introduces you as the graphic novelist who shared Korean history with the world. But the term graphic novel, even in English, I think, is still a bit unfamiliar to some people. So can you introduce exactly what a graphic novel is?
사실은 그래픽 노블이라는 용어는 이제 전문가들이 많이 사용하는 용어인데, 이것이 이게 한국에서도 만화랑 같은 뜻이고,
음,
그리고 이제 해외에서는 커믹스라고도 하고,
네.
프랑스에서는 방드 데시네라고 하는데,
오,
예, 그래픽 노블 같은 경우는 이제 긴 서사,
네.
장편의 서사를 한 권의 책으로 그 사이즈나 그런 것도 굉장히 다양하고 책의
아,
사이즈나
네.
그래서 한국에서는 이제 그래픽 노블이
네.
보통 만화나 웹툰이랑 조금 다르게 출판 만화로서
아,
조금 더 이렇게 삶이나 그런 것에 대해 인간이나
음.
어떤 우리 주위의 환경이나 그런 것에 대해서 사회적인 것이나 역사적인 것이나 좀 더 진지한 소재를
아.
이렇게 소설 그림으로 보는 소설처럼 만든 것을 그래픽 노블이라고 한국에서는 약간 그런 식으로 가고 있어요.
Ah,
예.
so it might be different depending on where you are, but here in Korea, graphic novel, we do say that in Hangul as well, graphic novel, and it's used more by specialists and experts, right? Still, a lot of people can refer to these as manhwa or comics or in their French or whatever your language is equivalent, but if we're to define them in a bigger kind of scope, they're longer stories that are all put together into one book, right? Longer comic stories. The size can vary completely and the type, but they are printed works, right? So a bit different to the webtoons. Also, in the fact that their subject matter is a bit more serious, a bit more heavy, you could say, looking at life, at human interactions, at the environment around us, at society, at history issues as well. But that's what really does set them apart from webtoons, but you could still describe them, I suppose, as manhwa or comics as well, but perhaps not in a light way. They are those bigger works, and we've got these two books in front of us. You can see these are proper books, many pages long as well. So graphic novels, they are this medium where text and illustrations can work together to tell a story. I like them because I like pictures. I'm really visually stimulated. But what do you think is the strength that this format possesses, Kumsu?
지금 말씀하신 것처럼 사실은 그림과 글이 함께 이야기를 전하기 때문에 그것이 정말 그 가장 큰 폭스 힘이라고 생각을 해요. 그럼 제가 얼마 전에 아이들을 만났단 말이죠.
네.
아이들이 이제 기다림 책을 읽었어요. 더 웨이팅을.
아,
근데 그게 사실은 그렇게 쉬운 이야기가 아니잖아요. 좀 슬프고 이산 가족의 한국 전쟁 때 이산 가족의 이야기라. 그런데 아이들한테 물어봤어요. 너희들 어떻게 읽었니 이 책을? 그랬더니 너무 재밌었다는 거예요.
와우. 네.
그래서 저도 굉장히 놀랬거든요. 그것이 아마 만화의 가장 큰 장점인 것 같아요. 큰
와.
힘인 것 같아요. 그러니까 슬프고 내용이 저는 그렇게 생각했는데 아이들은 그리고 사람들은
네.
만화를 일단 아무리 슬프고 힘든 이야기도 재미있다.
음.
그 재미라는 게 막 웃기고 막
네.
유머스럽고 그런 것이 아니라
네.
그 그림과 글이 전달하는 어떤 그 재미있는 요소들이 있는 것 같아요.
Wow, that really is the big strength. Kumsuk saying the pictures, the drawings, and the writings together. So recently, she met some kids who had read The Waiting, or Kidalim is the title in Korean, and that's about families that have been separated, you know, in North and South Korea, which is a heavy topic, right? It can be seen as a very sad topic as well. And she asked them how they felt about it, and they said they really enjoyed it, right? 재밌다 means to be fun, but not like you're laughing and smiling, because the topic material is heavy and sad, but you're enjoying it because of the pictures in there as well as the writing. So even kids can understand that heavy subject matter. Yeah, I guess if it was just writing a regular novel, then children could not really say they enjoy that. It might be too difficult to understand. So that really is the strength of these graphic novels. And let's talk about your really acclaimed book, which we have in the studio. We'll put up the picture here of Pul. The cover is really impactful as well. That means grass in English. It's been translated into 47 languages worldwide. Not just 47 countries, 47 languages, right? So that's spreading to more countries as well. And I believe this single masterpiece has won international comic awards in over 10 countries. Could you tell us a bit about the book?
풀은 가스는 그 일제강점기 2차 대전 시기에 태평양 전쟁 때 한국 그 서민의 딸이 당시 강제로 끌려가서 일본군의 위안부 생활을 강제로 한 그런 이야기인데 그분들을 피해자분을 만나서 이옥선 할머니와 또 여러 다른 분들을 제가 만나긴 했는데 특히 이옥선 할머니를 만나서 그분의 전체적인 삶 그러니까 어렸을 때부터 이후의 삶, 전쟁이 끝나고 나서의 삶을 전반적으로 제가 만나면서 들은 내용을 그래픽 노블로 작업한 책입니다.
와, 그분은 어떻게 알게 되셨어요?
그분은 제가 그분이 사는 그 댁을 살고 계시던 그 곳을 제가 찾아가서 여러분이 계셨는데 그 나눔의 집에는 그분하고 인연이 돼서 그분의 이야기를 더 많이 들었죠.
Wow, so this book, this graphic novel, is based on someone's life story, right? That's the first important point here. And it's during the Japanese occupation during the Second World War and the Pacific War. You know, many people who are from Europe, you might focus only on the war between the Nazis and the Allies and whatnot, but there was a whole war raging in this part of the world. And it focuses in on the daughter of a regular Korean who was taken away from her family, put into forced sexual slavery. We've talked about this, right? Known as wianbu in Korean. And Kumsuk met the actual victim of this, a grandmother. Talked, of course, about this, but her whole life, actually, from start to finish, from being a young girl to after the war and all sorts. And that's what this novel is based on. There's someone known as, in English, I guess it would be the House of Sharing, and got to hear the stories, not just of this grandmother, but of people in the vicinity as well. And that was what came out as the final product. And the title's really interesting, right? It gets you thinking, pull or grass even in English. It's incredibly striking. Why is that chosen as the title?
저는 모든 인간이 꽃처럼 아름답다고 꽃처럼 그러니까 여성이 특히 꽃에 많이 비유가 됩니다. 한국에서는 전통적으로 꽃에 많이 비유가 되는데 뭐 못생긴 여성을 호박꽃이라고 비유하기도 하고 옛날에는 호박꽃 너무 아름답잖아요.
네.
그런데 아무튼 여성을 이렇게 꽃으로 비유하면서 비하시키기도 하고 조롱하기도 하고 뭐 이렇게 하는데 저는 이 여성들 모든 여성은 아름답다라는 전제하에서 그 여성들이 꽃처럼 대우를 받아야 했던 그 여성들이 사실은 짓밟히고 풀처럼 짓밟히고 그 순환과 차별과 사회적으로도 그렇고 그런 것을 당했단 말이죠. 하지만 풀처럼 짓밟혀도 풀처럼 강인한 생명력을 가지고 다시 일어서는 삶에 대한 어떤 그 생명력이나 의지를 표현하고 싶어서.
Wow, that title is so meaningful. So if you think of people, all people as flowers, but especially even in other countries, but particularly in Korea, women are often compared to flowers, and in a positive sense, of course, but sometimes in a negative sense, like with the pumpkin flower, that's maybe used for ugly women in the past. And I think I've talked about on the show, yeah, in Korean, if you call someone hobak, it means they're ugly, whereas if you call someone pumpkin in American English, that's like a cute little girl. So it's a very cultural thing. But the base of this is that, yeah, all women, all people are beautiful flowers. And so that is the basis for then comparing the people in this novel as grass, because the women who should have been treated as beautiful flowers, precious flowers, they were stepped upon, they were discriminated against, they were abused, right? But just like grass that is stepped on, it is resilient, and these people were resilient and then got back up again, just like grass. And so that strength within them, right, that resilience is really represented well in that really short and impactful title as well. So on the cover of Grass or Pull, it says, the history of the Japanese military comfort women, quote unquote, that must be remembered. And I'm curious about what led you to write about comfort women in the first place. Why choose this topic? It's quite heavy, right?
예. 사실은 이 책을 역사적인 일본과 한국의 이야기로만 보면 그것은 너무 좁게 보는 것이고요. 근본적으로 제가 이 책을 기억하고 이 책을 써야겠다고 생각한 것은 여성들이 과거에도 그랬고 현재까지 현재 진행형이고 굉장히 차별을 당하고 있고 성차별도 그렇고 모든 그 사회 계층에서 그것이 뭐 지식 계층이건 뭐 하층 계급이건 모든 면에서 마찬가지거든요. 우리 할머니들 세대, 엄마들 세대, 언니들 세대, 저의 세대 그리고 지금의 세대들이 조금 다르긴 하지만 여전히 차별을 받고 있고 성의 그 상대화가 되어 있고 성적 상대화가 되어 있고 그런 점에서 여성의 문제로 보기 때문에 제가 이 책을 집필했고요. 그 다음에는 이제 사회적 계급, 특히 이제 서민의 자식들. 서민의 딸들이 더 많은 그런 것에 취약한 그런 상황에 놓여 있다. 그래서 교육을 받지 못하고 그런 것도 좀 얘기를 하고 싶었고 그래서 그리고 그것이 한국 여성뿐이 아니라 굉장히 많은 동아시아 여성들이 또한 그 시대에 그런 몹쓸 짓을 당했고 사과를 받지 못했고 여전히 그런 전쟁이 일어나면 여성이 가장 큰 피해자 이중 삼중 고초를 당한다. 이런 거를 좀 이야기하고 싶었어요.
훨씬 더 큰 의미로.
네.
Wow. So this book, if you're looking at it through the lens of just Japan and Korea's history, that is far too narrow a view. What Kumsuk wanted to do is, in a wider sense, look at sexual discrimination that women have faced in the past and even in the present as well. And you've got this across all the classes, right? The educated class, women is discriminated against. And you see that in the numbers of people who are in those higher positions. But it also is more pronounced in the lower classes as well. So your grandmother, your mother, your sisters, the youth of today even face this discrimination as women, right? And she wanted to shine this light on the societal wide issues. And especially if you are the daughter of someone in the working class, then you're subject to more discrimination, right? You've maybe got lower levels of education, certainly in the past, but still today, and you're more vulnerable. And then this is just the issue of East Asia, where a lot of women suffered at the hands of this sexual slavery, or comfort women as the euphemism is known, and there were no apologies forthcoming, and it was the terrible violation of their rights, right, as ladies. So this has the bigger kind of picture behind it, which makes it so painful, but so meaningful as well. And you can see from the actual graphic novel itself, the English translated version, we've put up some screenshots to give you a feel for it as well. The illustrations and the text are so moving as well, and it's all in black and white, which is unbelievable. And since Grass or Pul deals with this painful chapter in Korean history, I imagine it couldn't have been easy emotionally for you writing it. So what was the process like?
예. 사실 이 책을 만들 때, 집필할 때 굉장히 있고 마음이 아픈 것도 굉장히 많았어요. 할머니를 만나서 인터뷰할 때도 그랬고 이 작업을 이제 그림으로 글로 표현할 때도 그랬고 그런데 너무 감정적이 되면 그 감정에 지치기 때문에 오히려 그 역효과가 있거든요. 그래서 제 감정을 최대한 억누르고 거리감을 가지고 이 책을 만들려고 했어요. 그래야만 독자님들도 훨씬 더 독자님들에게 다가가는 울림이 훨씬 클 거라 생각을 했기 때문에.
Wow.
예.
So if you are too emotional, then it actually has the reverse effect, right? It's not good for the work. But Kumsuk saying, of course, writing it was difficult. Hearing the interviews, it could bring a lot of pain and hurt as well. And then putting that into words and into pictures. But she deliberately tried to repress those emotions and separate herself from that in order to give a more accurate story and a better story for the emotions of the people who were affected, which is really interesting, like separating yourself. If you're too emotionally involved, then maybe it's not good for the outcome. And it has been translated into so many languages globally. I cannot believe it. So I'm keen to know how international readers responded to this, because this has been so popular in Korea, of course, but 47 different languages. What do you think is the secret behind why so many people resonate with it?
제가 이 책을 집필할 때는 사실은 그리고 쓸 때는 이렇게 많은 세계의 독자님들과 만날이라고는 예상을 못했어요. 그런데 이 책이 한국에서 출간되고 전 세계적으로 제가 많이 그 북페어를 다니면서 전 세계 독자님들을 만났어요. 그래서 나이 연령대도 정말 젊은 여성부터 또 남자들도 있었고 할아버지들도 있었고 할머니까지 전 세계 뭐 남미 그리고 유럽 정말 많은 나라를 갔었는데 공통적으로 이분들이 단순히 그러니까 일본군 한국 여성의 이야기로만 보지 않아요. 일단 이분들이 당시에 아시아의 전쟁에 대해서 잘 몰랐고 왜냐하면 당신들의 전쟁에 이미 집중돼 있었기 때문에 역사가 새로운 발견이기도 했을 뿐더러 그리고 이것이 한국 여성의 이야기가 아니라 당신들의 이야기로 받아들이시는 것 같아요. 당신의 그런 그 남의 이야기가 아니라 이것이 나의 이야기고 내 주변의 이야기고 그러니까 말하지 못한 어떤 고통들을 할머니의 이 이야기를 통해서 공감하시더라고요.
Wow, yeah, so people around the world really did relate to this, and how it came about was Kumsuk was not thinking of a big global audience when writing this, right? Didn't expect that, but once it was released in Korea, she went to a series of book fairs globally, places like South America and Europe, and she was taken aback by how many people and how such a variety of people were interested. It was young women, it was men, it was grandfathers, grandmothers, and it was not the point that this was Korean women or it was the Japanese occupation or it was the war in Asia. To be honest, many people in those parts of the world didn't even know that that was going on, too busy with the war in their neck of the woods. But they felt this book really reflected stories of themselves or maybe people they knew, that unspoken pain and that unspoken shame that perhaps comes through in the text and the pictures as well. It really does seem like something everyone can resonate with and bring back painful memories, perhaps in some cases, I assume. You also have a brand new graphic novel coming out this year as well.
Yeah. 이게 이제 제 책이 여러 나라에서 동시에 출간되는데 영어권에서 이번에 올 가을에 10월 달에 드러난 쿼터리에서 캐나다 출판사인데 이제 마이 프렌드 김정은이 출간이 되고요. 그다음에 프랑스와 한국에서 또 10월 초에 거의 동시에 여순에 관한 제가 그동안 2년 넘게 작업한 그 책이 또 출간이 됩니다.
Wow, so some simultaneous releases in the latter half of this year, both in English as well, those.
여순에 관한 책은 나중에 영어로는 나중에 출간이 되고
일단 한국어로.
예, 한국어와 프랑스어로.
Okay.
예.
So the initial release of one of the books about the Yarsun incident, and that was the large-scale civilian massacre that took place around Yarsu and Suncheon, right, in 1948. So another painful bit of Korean history. That's coming out in French and Korean. And then the other one in English is My Friend Kim Jong-un.
Yes.
That's coming out in the autumn as well through a Canadian publisher. What inspired you to publish the book about the Yarsun incident?
예, 제가 한 10여 년 전쯤에
네.
순천에 북토크 전시를 하면서 북토크를 했었어요. 그런데 그 독자님들이 오셨었는데 독자님 질문 중에서 한 분이 제가 제주 4.3에 대한 그래픽 노블 지스를 만들었는데
네.
제주도 이야기는 하면서 왜 고향 이야기는 하지 않느냐.
고향은 그쪽.
예, 고향이 제가 그쪽 순천은 아니지만 아무튼
네.
그 지방이거든요.
네.
그래서 왜 고향 이야기를 하지 않느냐. 그래서 그때 당시에 제가 그 독자님들께 약속을 했었어요. 언젠가 꼭 하겠다. 근데 그 시간이 온 것 같아서 예.
So this book, the one about the Yarsun incident, was inspired by a book talk that Kumsuk had about 10ish or so years ago down in Suncheon, which is close to her hometown. And readers asked her, because she has already done a book about the Jeju 4/3 or April 3rd incident, which we've talked about a lot on our show as well, that terrible incident that took place in Jeju Island. And some of the readers asked, well, why haven't you told the story of your own hometown, you know, closer to home near Suncheon and Yasu? And so she promised at that time and has kept the promise that when the time came, she would write about it. And now is that time. So that's being released later on as well. So including your upcoming release, you've frequently tackled, we can see these really painful moments in Korean history, maybe some that are very hard to talk about. Comfort women, the Jeju April 3rd incident, the Yarsun incident as well. Is there a particular reason you're drawn to these themes?
그것이 저도 이제 왜 제가 이런 것에 자꾸 끌리느냐 제 자신에게 스스로 질문을 해봤는데요. 아마도 그게 부모님 영향인 것 같아요.
진짜요?
예, 저희 부모님이 연세가 굉장히 많으셨고
네.
한국의 현대사를 관통해 오신 분들이세요.
네.
그래서 그런 것들을 다 겪으셨고,
와.
근데 단지 이제 저에게 그런 이야기를 직접적으로 해주시진 않았지만 집안 분위기에서 제가 그런 것을 느꼈던 것 같고. 그것이 나이가 들면서 그것에 대한 고민과 예술가로서 그리고 딸로서 자식으로서 한 사회의 구성인으로서 그것에 대한 질문을 던지게 된 것 같아요.
Wow, so she has asked herself this question. Why is she drawn, Kumsuk, to these themes, these painful themes? And she feels it is thanks to her parents who are very old and had basically lived through modern Korean history. And it's not like they spoke to her directly about these incidents and that history, but it was just the atmosphere or the vibe within the household that led her as a daughter, as a member of society, to toss out these questions and ask these difficult questions and look back at those difficult incidents as well. I can see you guys are writing in so many messages and questions, so we're going to get to those after a song break. So this is the song that you've requested from Kim Min-gi, 봉우리 or Peak. Why this song?
저는 이제 기교가 일단 가사가 너무 좋고요. 중저음의 김민기의 그 중저음의 목소리가 너무 좋고요. 그리고 너무 많은 테크닉이 들어가 있지 않아요.
진짜요?
네, 그래서 좋아요.
So the low tone, the lyrics are great as well. There's a lot of technique in this song. So let's enjoy it and we'll be back in part 2. And that, after that beautiful storytelling there in the song, we're back to the journey into people's lives. Peter's on the block. Today we are chatting with the graphic novelist, award-winning graphic novelist, I should say, Kumsuk Gendry Kim, an artist who first caught the world's attention abroad and has spent her career capturing Korean history through her illustrations. Loads of you with some really intelligent questions, so we'll try and get through as many as possible, although we may run out of time. Gupkin says, your work focuses on human rights and the cost of war, and your subject of the 2020 work, Alexandra Kim, daughter of Siberia, that got a lot of attention. And given Alexandra Kim's legacy as a Bolshevik, a movement tied to authoritarian violence, what drew you to her story? Oh, that's an interesting bit. And you did mention in the song break when we were talking about this is going to be released in Portuguese for the Brazilian audience soon.
예, 예.
Wow. So what drew you to that story?
이 스토리는 제가 하게 된 경우는 독립운동가에 대한 프로젝트 중에 제가 이 작업을 하게 됐는데 제가 이 여성에게 끌린 이유는 원래 이게 책이 또 소설이 있어요.
네.
소설을 바탕으로 소설과 여러 이제 그 알렉산드라 김을 쓰신 정철훈 선생님의 책을 제가 참고를 했고 인터뷰를 해서 이 책을 만들었는데 이 여성에게 끌린 이유는 그 한인 세대로서 거의 1세대 러시아에 이주한
네.
1800년대에 러시아에 이주한 1세대에서 태어난 여성으로서
우와.
그 러시아에서 노동 계급에 대해서 여러 가지 번역 5개국어 이상의 언어를
오,
했다고
네.
해요. 그래서 동청철도 당시에 시베리아 철도 사업을 하는 데 있어서 아시아인들을 통역을 해준
오.
어린 나이부터
네.
그래서 그 여성이 또 독립운동가로서 또 여성 그 페미니스트로서 또 이민자 2세이면서 그래서
네.
여러 가지 면에서 굉장히 매력적인 여성이에요.
와.
근데 나중에 30살 정도 됐을 때 백유군에 의해서 처형당하는데
오.
혁명 시기에 러시아 때 그래서
네.
이 여성이 너무 매력적이어서 이 여성에 대한 그 그래픽 노블을 만들게 됐습니다.
와, 내용이 그렇게 만들어도 되게 흥미롭네요. Sounds so interesting, this story. And it was through work done on the independence movement that Kumsuk got involved in this. And this female, Alexandra Kim, she was drawn to it because there's already a novel about her life from a Korean author. So did some interviews and referred to the novel as well. And she, Alexandra Kim, is like one of the first generation of immigrants. We're talking about in the 1800s in Russia, being born as an Iser or a second generation in a working class family. And she spoke many languages, said to be around 5 or more. And during the railway work, there was a lot of development going on. She worked as an interpreter. And this was a really attractive theme. And she sounds like a very attractive character. And a terrible tragic end in her 30s, executed during the revolutionary period. And that's all what culminated in this story coming out. Check it out as well, especially Portuguese readers out there. It's coming out in Brazil shortly. Leon from Singapore says, so excited to know more about your graphic novels and the stories behind them. Grass, that is so beautiful. It's ordinary, resilient and persistent. And I'd like to ask you, when you write a story, what comes first? Your story or the images?
저는 이제 작품에 따라 조금 다르긴 한데 사실은 글이 먼저 와요.
아, 진짜요?
예.
The writings first. 뭐 글이 먼저 하고 내용이 먼저 나와야 약간 그림들이 그 이후에 따라가는 거 약간 더 약간 과학적인 것 같아요. 그런 식으로 가야 되지 않을까요? 거의 대부분 그래요.
작가마다 조금 다르긴 한데
네.
저는 항상 이제 글을 어렸을 때부터 일기를 썼고 기록을 하는 습관이 있어서 글이 더 먼저 오는 것 같아요.
Yeah, so it's the words, the writings that come first for Kumsuk, saying that from a young age she wrote diaries as well, and then the drawings come after. And I think that makes more sense to me as well if I was to do this, but I would not be creative enough to do it, of course. And you also ask, is there a historical event or social issue in Korea that you still hope to explore in a future graphic novel?
제가 저 질문을 잘 이해를 못했습니다.
앞으로 또 다루고 싶은 약간 역사적인 이벤트 아니면 사회적인 문제가 있는지요?
저는 제가 다루고 싶은 것은 이제 지금까지 그래왔듯이 인간에 대한 성찰, 그러니까 인간과 인간을 둘러싼 것에 대한 이제 성찰, 생각하게 하는 것들, 끌리는 주제들이 많아요. 근데 그 중에서 가장 끌리는 이야기가 저를 먼저 잡아요. 제가 선택하는 것이 아니라
진짜요?
네, 그 이야기가 저를 잡고 잠을 못 자게 해요. 그러면 그 이야기를 하게 됩니다.
그렇게 자연스럽게 되는 거예요. Wow. So it's always, if you look at Kumsuk's works, these human-to-human stories, things that make you really think as well. And it's not that she's going out picking these issues, she says. It's more the issue picks her, right? And then it means that she can't sleep. She can't stop thinking about it. And then that that will lead to the next story as well. And then your final question, Leon, which I thought was really interesting. If you were to adapt one of the stories into a film or a TV series, which one would you most like to see brought to life? 만약에 TV 아니면 영화 될 수 있다면 어떤 스토리가 좋을 것 같아요?
다 그러고 싶은데.
All of them, of course. All of them.
아마도 기다림이나 개일 것 같아요.
So Waiting that we mentioned earlier, which is about families separated between North and South, and then Care, which we haven't talked about, which is here in the studio, this dog. 이거 어떤 내용이에요?
개는 이제 개와 인간에 대한 관계인데 얼마나 서로를 이해하고 가장 좋은 친구인지 저의 그 경험담을 픽션화 시켜서 이야기를 한 건데 굉장히 여러 개가 등장을 해요.
본인 경험담.
예, 근데 픽션화 시켰어요, 이거를. 왜냐면 저의 주변 사람들을 보호하기 위해서
네.
픽션화 시켰습니다.
Okay, so it is a fictional story, but it is inspired by personal experiences of Kumsuk and the relationship between dogs and people, right? And the things that go on between them, how good of friends they are. And our senior writer, actually, Kim Jong-hee, was saying her friend suffered the loss of a dog not too long ago and how depressing it was, almost the same as losing a family member or a child. And, you know, many of you as well who are dog owners will know about that. That sounds really moving. One question that our writer really wanted us to ask to you is when readers do finish one of your graphic novels, finally close the book, what kind of feeling or thought do you hope that they are left with? 이제 한 책 읽고 난 다음에 독자가 어떤 마음, 어떤 생각 가졌으면 하는 거예요?
사실은 제가 독자님들께 원하는 게 없습니다. 그냥 너무 부담 갖지 말고
네.
이것이 뭐 무거운 이야기다. 이 책을 읽으시기 전에 힘든 이야기일 거야. 그래서 부담감 갖지 마시고
네.
그냥 일단은 가볍게 들고 가볍게 읽으시다가 너무 힘들면 덮으실 수도 있고 나중에 읽으실 수도 있고 그냥
네.
그래 주셨으면 좋겠어요.
너무 좋은 마인드인 것 같아요. It's nothing. 금숙 doesn't want anything from the readers, so don't feel burdened by the heavy topic or anything like that. All she wants you to do is pick up the book and start reading it. If it's really difficult and you can't finish it, you can put it down, finish it another time, whatever it is, as long as you're picking it up and reading it. I think that's really beautiful, like just to get to know about some of these issues as well. We've also got Jun, who says, your award, the Chevalier, recognises your contributions to cultural exchange between Korea and France. So do you feel that living in France and experiencing French culture has influenced your storytelling and artistic style? 주로 한국에 대한 내용들인데 프랑스 문화, 프랑스의 삶 오랫동안 사셨잖아요. 영향 받았던 것 같아요.
물론이죠.
진짜?
물론이죠. 아주 많이 받았죠. 왜냐하면 제가 20대와 저의 20대와 30대를 저는 프랑스에서 보냈습니다. 그런데 프랑스에서 그 경험들이 문화적인 경험이나 학교에서 친구들과의 그 부딪히면서 같이 작업했던 거 그런 것들이 저에게 굉장히 많은 생각을 하게 만들었죠.
Yeah, so the French influence is definitely there, says Kumsuk, because she spent her 20s and 30s mostly in France, right? So it can't help but shape you as a person. So when studying and coming up with works, clashing and working together, everything has helped shape her into the person she is today. And we have been so chatty that we're almost at the end today, so I don't think we're going to have time for the quiz, which is really sad. I love Korea with another question, though, who says, do you think there are some stories better suited to printed graphic novels than webtoons and vice versa? Kumsuk, I asked earlier, does not do webtoons at the moment, and I'm sure you guys, many of you do read a lot of webtoons rather than graphic novels, but you should definitely get into these. 본인 생각에 그래픽 노블에 꼭 담아야 되는 얘기 아니면 반대로 이런 내용들은 웹툰에 더 적합하다 있다고 생각하시나요?
저는 서로 소통할 수 있다고 생각해요. 그러니까 제 책을 웹툰화 시킬 수도 있는데 다 그렇게 되면 내 편집 과정이 필요한 거고
네.
글도 수정이 필요할 것 같아요. 그렇지만 제가 정말 좋아하는 거는 책입니다.
네.
저는 물성을 좋아하기 때문에 손으로 만지는 거,
네.
몸으로 하는 걸 좋아해요.
네, 그 느낌이 있죠.
예, 예.
다르죠. So, Kumsa saying the two definitely can talk together and communicate. It's not like webtoons are not allowed and graphic novels are the only thing. And certainly her books could be turned into webtoons, but they would definitely require editing and maybe the writings need to be changed as well. But for Kumsuk, it's all about a physical book, right? Holding it, that tangible aspect to it that really is what she likes. And, you know, everyone's entitled to their opinions. Kumsuk, thank you so much for coming in today. We've already run out of time. So is there a last message to our listeners you'd like to say? 마지막 청취자들한테 하고 싶은 말이 있나요?
너무나 소중한 독자님들 항상 저의 책에 관심 가져주셔서 너무너무 감사드리고요. Thank you so much. 그리고 thank you so much, Peter.
Oh, no.
그리고 이제 어디를 가나 어디에 계시건 직접 만나 뵙고 소통하고 책 같이 이야기 세계관에서 같이 이야기하고 이런 시간 가졌으면 좋겠어요.
Very grateful to all the precious readers across the world for your interest in her books as well. And if she can meet you in person and then exchange some words together, that would be amazing. She's very busy going abroad these days for book talks and whatnot. I think appointments in South America as well later on the year. So hopefully you guys from all across the world could one day meet Kumsuk as well. It's been a pleasure to have you in the studio. Thank you so much for your precious time. We're going to finish things off with one last song today. I'll see you again tomorrow. This is Juniel with Put an Ending Summer Scene. It's been your Daily Dose of Career. #DailyK out. Bye-bye.